I'll tell you, we're so thankful that we've been able to feed a lot of people. We've been able to give a lot of Bibles out. We ordered another batch.
Yes.
And
The Ukrainian Bibles you're talking about.
and the blankets and all the things we're sending there. But it's so unbelievable what's still happening there.
Yes.
And
Someone
it sounds like Russia is planning to wipe Ukraine off the map.
What's happened is Putin has been totally unsuccessful in everything he's done. I mean, what this has done, if nothing else, to the West, has exposed the Russian army as being at least feckless. Their machinery is undependable. Their structure of command from the top to the bottom. They first discovered this during the Iraq War. The Iraqis were trained by the Russians. So when these guys were stuck in the desert, remember Desert Storm and what happened when the Americans, who are freewheeling, every guy's in charge, when the chips are down, you know, a private becomes a colonel, and and what happened was that the Iraqi forces were so afraid to make a decision without up the chain that they froze literally under the sand in the dugouts. And the Americans were literally with bulldozers scooping them out of the sand, and they were paralyzed. And this has happened again. Their technical warfare is not great, to say the least. And the Americans are taking advantage of this. I talked to a special forces guy the other day, and I said, how come the Ukrainians are doing such an amazing job at blowing up entire convoys of tanks? And he says, well, they might be getting some help. And I says, really? He says, oh yeah, really. So I don't know how much, I mean, that's only him and I talking, but what I'm saying is that you are seeing a President Putin that is embarrassed, and this is the biggest egomaniac in decades. So this little country that he was meant to take over in 3 days rather, cut off the head, put his new guy in, and nothing's going to change. They fought, and they have fought, and I think they've been assisted in their fight. So you now have a much more dangerous man. It's good news in the American heart, yay, you know, let's fight this guy. But the end result is that the more he is pressed and the more he's going to lose and the more men he loses and the body bags are going back to Russia and now real armaments. The big stuff is now going in to fight him. He will not be successful against the Ukrainians. You then have the horrendous scenario that he will start using chemical weapons and biological weapons. And also, America's nuclear capability is doomsday. If you're going to launch a missile against us, the world's going to go away. It's called MAD, Mutually Assured Destruction. Russian theory of war is that they have battlefield nuclear weapons. So they can let a weapon off in a theater of battle and obliterate a town that will never be used again or lived in again. But that threat keeps everyone, as you are watching, we can't get Putin mad.
We're hearing in America that they have a big celebration day here coming up in a few days. I can't.
That's this. If you're
so by the time people even seen this show,
if you're a praying person, May 9th, it happened on May 8th in Western Europe, but on May 9th it happened time-wise in Moscow. And what they have in Moscow is Victory Day. That's when you've seen them in the past, when all the Brezhnev and all these guys are up on the wall, and the army, the tanks are going past, and the bombs and the soldiers are marching. That's their Victory Day. And I think my opinion and what I'm reading is that he was hoping to have this whole thing neatly wrapped up with a bow on it by the 9th of May. And he's not going to have anything where he's at. However, there is a defenseless country that has a ribbon of its border with a place called Transnistria. You'll be hearing this in the news, Transnistria. Transnistria is a Russian enclave like the Crimea is and like the Donbass is. So the other day, I don't know if you noticed, there was a bomb that went off in Transnistria, and Putin says that's the Ukrainians now threatening the Russian people in Transnistria. How he's going to take Transnistria is by taking Moldova. And that is what is giving me heartache and sleepless nights. So we have about 100 souls in our care at Vatra village. And including the kids, we've already moved them once from Ukraine. We have families that have run that we are caring for at Vatra village from the Ukraine. And we are now talking about and actively seeking a place in Romania that we can move all of these kids out to. So I mean, that's a hotel, or we're just trying to find a way to do it. In the meantime, and this is what.
So you're thinking you may have to move from Vatra if the tanks
absolutely.
come.
Absolutely.
What will the Russians do with Vatra village?
Loot it, just like they did everything you see that they did in Iraq and these other countries. They will rape every girl they find and kill her so she can testify against them in the war crimes courts. That's why they're killing the woman that they're raping, because they can't testify against them. So that houses in Vatra village. What we've done is, God spoke to me when I began this 30-odd years ago, that we're not just there suddenly. I'm watching all these ministries that are brokenhearted for Ukraine and Moldova, and we've been doing this. I've been brokenhearted for a third of my life, or actually half my life, since I adopted Andrew. So those houses, what the Lord spoke to me was, how you treat an orphan is how God will treat you. A lot of ministries will give an orphan a bowl of rice and feed them once a day and boast about what they're doing, but they're not helping. They're not helping with the education and the social life of these kids that have been abused all their lives. So we determined to make Vatra Village a beautiful place. Every one of you that would walk into the houses at Vatra Village would say, "Oh my goodness, look at this house." That houses were originally, see the lake in the background? That houses were built for rich people to have summer homes in. And they poisoned the lake with chlorine to kill algae, and it killed the project of that building, that houses. So it sat for 9 years derelict, and we went in and bought it and have been spending all the time fixing up all these houses to be absolutely beautiful. Every stick of furniture in those houses are from America. We buy it here and we ship it over there because our furniture is a way better. And I wanted, when an orphan girl or an orphan boy, we have a one boys home out of the homes that we have, when they walk into that place and we have big Rubbermaid tubs and we have welcoming parties, and we tell an orphan that's never had a kind word in her life, never had a smile or a gentle thought towards her, and they walk into Vatra and we say, if you are born, God has a plan.
Yes.
You are not a mistake.
Right.
Whatever you want to do, God can help you do.
That's it.
So those are Ukrainian girls sitting in Betzer house, and there's other families in that house with them right now. Every girl you see in that video is worth $300,000 a year to a trafficker. Wow. Every girl you see will make a trafficker $300,000. So that girl there is $300,000. Every three girls you see is the guts of $1 million to a trafficker. So they come to us, we put them back in school, and what's happened is, one of the first things we do is we help them to get healed by loving other people that are worse off than they were.
Right.
So they feed widows and feed broken families. So they cook in the houses every day. They're cooking meals for other people. So when this thing happened at the border and the Ukrainians started running away from Russia, our kids were doing it already. It was not a big deal. And they were cooking, and instead of taking to the village, they went out to the border. Now, I've got a video to show you today of them. Easter time in Moldova is 1 week later than America. So Easter was Sunday, this last Sunday. And in the middle of all this, and I was trying to explain to Brother Jim, excuse me for talking so much, but I've got so much to tell you.
Yeah.
To put it into perspective for you, how they are living right now in Moldova.
Yes.
If we are in Blue Eye here right now, and Branson is 10 miles up the road, you imagine if Russia and the most bombs and missiles and tanks and weapons were in Branson, and Russia and Putin was in Branson, and they were coming this direction, how would you be able to function every day? How would it affect everything we do? A tank could drive through the front gates, through that front door,
Absolutely.
blow us to smithereens. Well, at the moment in Transnistria, all this weaponry that Russia has is 10, 12 miles away from the kids at Vatra village. So we are living and giving and going with a gun at our heads. So fixing up Resurrection Refugee Center is agonizing because folk are interested in selling stuff because, well, and the 9th of May is rumored to be the day that the Russians are going to take Moldova. So how would you all be thinking today if the Russians were coming here on the 9th? And that's what we're living under. I've been up this morning since 4 o'clock because on top of caring for these kids, these kids are caring for other people. And
where are some of the kids right now? They're delivering food.
Yes, not just once in a while. They are at full delivery mode all the time. We have a convoy that goes every week, 6 vans, cargo vans. They go from Chisinau, we load them up, and they drive all the way down to Kyiv and Irpin, where you've been watching all this bombing go. So pastors take the vans, and we supply the food. This one is going just now, it leaves at 3 o'clock in the morning in Moldovan time, which is 8:30 tonight here in America. And for the first time, Nadia and Dasha are going with this convoy down to Kyiv, which is a great risk. And I said, you can't do this because, and they says, no, we are going. And the pastors tried to dissuade them, and Dasha said, my dad's paying for this food, and I'm going with you, and that's the end of it all. So she can't. I said, okay. So please be praying. So what they do is they take the food to Kyiv, and these pastors that have churches there, hundreds of people line up, and the pastors preach the gospel to the people that have no food and no water. And as they're waiting, that right there is a pastor preaching to those people waiting in line to be fed the gospel. And now, because of you guys, we have given away thousands of blankets and thousands of Bibles, and it's just. We're still in.
I just saw them passing out Bibles.
Yes.
Right.
But here's the deal. America has an attention span of 7 seconds.
Right.
I can't believe it. We all as a nation are all, this is the most important thing. And there are people dying by the thousand right now over a tyrant that's trying to take over Europe. And we are all caught up with the new shiny thing that's in front of us.